Well friends, welcome to this video. In this video we will see how to perform data analysis in the with regard to the information that is collected from a Likert scale. So we will actually see how the questionnaire is been developed for a Likert scale, which is popularly called as a scale, and then how to implement it, collect the information from the respondent. After collecting the information from the respondent, how it is actually transferred to a Excel file, and then if necessary to an SPSS file, and then do subsequent calculations, and hence reach to conclusions. So these are the things that we will have to look into this video, and then as I have already told, we have to go through several software today in order to reach our goal. So let us first look at what is Likert scale. A scale consists of a series of statements, and in a Likert scale we have a series of statements. They are generally numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Serial numbers are there, and each respondent who is responding to these statements have to actually provide the level of agreement or disagreement they are having with the statement. So each statement, and then each statement is followed by some options which actually expresses the level of agreement or disagreement. Like we have agreement, we have verbal descriptors like strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. So if you tick based on your level of agreement, you will tick in the appropriate option. These verbal descriptors like strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree are provided with numbers like -2, -1, 0 for neutral, 1 and 2. Or in some cases they start with strongly disagree 1, disagree 2, neutral 3, agree 4, and strongly agree 5. So this way they are arranged. Now we continue. The total score can be calculated for each respondent by summing across all the statements. So the total score that we are actually providing, this can be, we are getting from the scale. It can be summed across all the respondents, or it can be summed across all the statements of a particular respondent. Both way sum is possible. So we that's why these are called as summated scales. Or what we can do is that that some of the scales are, we actually look at these scales since they are summative in nature. So we can easily compute from it different values. So either we can sum up all the responses by a particular individual, so giving a single value across each respondent. And so if we collect information from say 100 respondents, we will get 100 values. Corresponding to each respondent we get one value, so total will get 100 values, and these values are the total agreement or disagreement that the people are having in the scale. So that is why it is easier to implement this in case of through emails and telephones, and also in case of personal interviews. One thing we should remember, that in between the positive statements, which the statements are actually unidirectional. Either the statements are positive, mostly the statements used are positive type of statements, but sometimes we may use some negative statements, and in case of negative statements the scale gets reversed. That means generally strongly disagree is 1, disagree is 2, neutral is 0, neutral is 3, strongly agree is 4, and strongly agree is 5. But sometimes if the statements are negative, they are just reversed. Like strongly disagree, in that case will be 5, disagree will in that case will be 4, neutral gets the same value 3, agree will get the value agree will get the value 2, and strongly agree will get the value 1. So this way the reversing is been done. Likert scale is popularly used when some products or services has several dimensions and we need to compare them, or we need to identify them. Since the scale is summative, hence we can form small subgroups of the statements, and the subgroups are made in such a way that the statements within a subgroup has something in common, and then we can sum across the subgroups. So we can bring in comparison the subgroups as well, or some subdivisions of the subgroups. I mean some categorization of the subgroups, because some of the respondents are male and some of the respondents are female, and so we can compare the summated value across all the statements, or we can actually compare the subgroups also. That will take up an example in due course, and then we will explain it in more details. This shall help us in understanding the score under different components of the method that we are studying. Descriptive statistics can be computed based on those values, and also we can perform some parametric and non-parametric test if we want to test some hypotheses which are coming up from that particular scale data. The working of Likert scale. To understand how to develop a Likert scale, we collect the data through a Likert scale, we analyze the data, we interpret the result. We need to introduce a product or service that is consumed by a group of people on whom the survey is performed. So we take up a group of people on whom we perform the survey. The statements are maybe related to a product or related to a service, and then we understand how people like or dislike, how much people are, what is the attitude of the people towards these products and services which are consumed by them. So that way, Likert scale becomes very important in marketing research. But beyond marketing research also, these type of scales have wide applications. It is important to know the different programs organized by different academic bodies. It is also used to know the type of service that people get in a hospital or in bank, etc. It also helps us to find out the attitude of people towards a product or a service. So there are multiple users of this type of Likert scale. To understand the Likert scale, we actually take the help of a short film today, and so what is this actually? We look at this. Today will look. This is a way in which we can introduce Likert scale in front of a group of people, and through a particular type of analysis, we can understand the actual use of a Likert scale. Let us do it live. So we plan a film show in a class where where there are some students who are actually our respondents at this point of time. You can practice this if you are a teacher, you can practice this in the class, so that instantly, with the help of this particular technique, you can explain to the class how Likert scale works, and that is what we are going to do in this presentation. So we need a product which is being consumed by everyone, so that everyone can give their opinion about that product. Obviously, getting such a product which is being consumed by everyone in a given class is difficult. So what we do is that we plan a film show. We take up a small film. There are several small films, short films, which are available in YouTube of say 20-25 minutes duration. So you watch some of these movies and pick up a nice movie which is actually comfortably family type movie, which can be shown in a class of students or to a group of people. And now the student becomes the consumer. They actually are consuming that particular film. Now a film, even though it is a short film, has several dimensions, obviously, because editing, dialogue, acting, etc. There are many dimensions of that film. So based on this dimension, we can pick up some statements so that each dimension is covered by more than one statement. So we develop a scale accordingly, and under this dimension we have one or more than one statement. That you should remember, under each dimension there should be more than one statement, so that we can actually capture people's reaction towards the different dimensions. So let us have a look at what is a short film. A short film is a film that lasts between 15 to 40 minutes, including everything like the titles and the credits. Unlike a feature film, short films are open-ended. That means it start from a point and abruptly ends at a particular point. Short films are generally prepared for TV audience, and they are made to convey some particular type of message, and also they are quite popular in some of the websites which actually store videos like YouTube. Now let us look at the features of the short film. First, it is simplicity, then interesting characters, then conflicts between the characters in the movie, emotions which are seen in the character, and originality. So these are the five features of a short film. So let us look at them one by one. What does it mean by simplicity? By keeping the film simple, one can cover complex and meaningful issues through simple gesture. A great short film can be achieved by the use of a reasonable budget and time frame, but it should have simple storyline and an unpredictable ending. It should have some interesting characters. As soon as the characters come on screen, the audience judge them by their appearance. So by keeping characters to a minimum numbers, audience won't get confused by unnecessary interaction and can focus on the issue at hand. So there should be characters. Characters should be interesting. Characters should be related to the protagonist of the movie, and there should not be unnecessary use of characters or spreading the story away from the main theme of the film. There should be conflict between the characters. The conflicts are kept simple, and finding unique solution to the conflicts, it is easier to put a twist on the film. The audience is often more likely to be interested in how the conflict is solved rather than the actual conflicts. So then comes emotions. Short films are all about making the audience evoke their emotions. So by molding the character around certain emotions, whether it is romantic or dramatic, it should get the mood for the rest of the film. And then originality, by digging deep into the creativity of the concept and bringing out the unique elements of the short film that can make the film stand out and remain unique compared to others. So these are some of the features or the characteristics of a short film. So today's film is a film called as Camera, and it is been available in this particular YouTube link. You may also search the film by writing Pocket Films Camera, K-A-M-E-R-A, Camera, and then you will get that this thumbnail will come up. Just click and watch the movie. So I request all of you to watch the movie. Now once you watch the movie, then we have actually the questionnaire. We have developed a questionnaire separately after watching the movie, and we call it a scale, and we put it like this. So you see, this is the scale. To quantify the person of the film, it should be K-A-M-E-R-A. So we'll make it correction, K-A-M-E-R-A, camera. So it is written like this. It's not written with C, rather it's written with camera, K-A-M-E-R, camera. Okay, so we take some name of the individual, their gender coded as 1 for male, 2 for female. Age is a whole number we take, and then academic background, science, arts, commerce, professional course, and others. Now we have some statements. For simplicity, we have S1. The issue taken by the film is simple but interesting. Let me increase the little bit for the font view so that you can watch it better. The ending of the film is very predictable. The budget of the film is low. So some statements like this, and you see strongly disagree 1, disagree 2, neutral 3, agree 4, and 5 for strongly agree. So we have 5 boxes and five options for each of these. Accessories of the film, we have these number of statements, 3 number of statements which are related to the accessories of the film. You may have a look at the statements related to accessories of the film. Then we proceed to have the conflict of the film. Once again, we have 3 more statements related to the conflict in the film or conflict between the characters of the film. Then we come about the emotions. Here we have 3 more statements for emotion. And then we have 2 statements for originality. So this is the questionnaire we are implementing. So we are implementing, if you are doing a live class, like if you are having the, after showing the film, you can take a printout of this questionnaire and photocopy it and circulate it amongst all the participants and ask them to fill up instantly. In below any statement, they will actually tick that particular option to which they are most inclined or most associated or more feel that more nicely express their attitude towards the film. So this is how this attitude towards not the film, sorry, attitude towards the statement, like the budget of the film is low. Now if a person thinks that no, budget is very high, you click and strongly disagree. However, if you thinks that yes, really the budget was very low, nothing much expenditure was done, then he may click on this strongly agree. So this way, if he clicks on strongly agree, this statement will earn 5 points, but if he click in strongly disagree, then that particular statement will earn 1 point for that particular respondent, and similarly for other values 2, 3, 4. This way we actually implement this question. Now but if you are not doing a live class, or if you are not interested to spend so much of stationery, in printing and you want to save the stationery, this we should do because we need to save paper. We should minimize the use of paper. So in that case, you can use develop a this Likert type scale is developed in a Google form. So this is a Google form, Google Docs that we have developed a questionnaire in Google Docs. So providing email is mandatory, name and then gender, and then we have all the questions are mandatory. The issue taken in the film is simple but interesting. You give instead of verbal descriptors, you give two bipolar descriptors like disagree and agree, and these you click. If you are towards disagree, you will click here. So this way you can make the change. Okay. So this way you can click here for disagree or because this is the negative statement. The end of the film is predictable negative statement. So we have turned the verbal descriptors. You see, not like the other verbal descriptor that disagree in the left side and agree in the right side, but it has agree in the left side and disagree in the right side because this is a negative statement. So we have 6 sections: conflict, emotions, and originality. The same statements that you have seen in the Word file are now actually put in Google Docs, and then you send this link. You may send to all the respondents because there is an option that send option is there. Yeah, send option is here. So in clicking the send option, you can send it to any respondent. So if you have the email ID of 100 respondents, you can send it to all of them, and then they can fill it up. Even from their mobile they can fill it up, and from the mobile they can actually answer it. And at your end it will appear quite somewhat like this, that in Excel form this is a little bit colored and all, but the thing is that it will come like this. It will show the name of the individual, serial number, name of the individual, and then we'll say gender, age, academic background as per the course, because there were 5 academic backgrounds, and then we have these first 3 is related to the feature which is actually first 3 statements. These 3 statements about simplicity, these 3 statements, the response has come up. When the Google Docs is formed, this data can be stored in Google Sheet, and from Google Sheet you can bring to Excel. You can give the coloring and all, and so this is related to simplicity. These are related to accessories of the film. These are related to, so these are different things that we have, and accordingly we have got all this. This is related to conflict. The next one is related to emotion. So this way we get these things. Now for doing more of these, if you want to do this analysis, it is better if we can take the data to SPSS, because SPSS always works better. Data analysis, if you want to do, you can do it in Excel, but then better than Excel is obviously SPSS. So we bring this data set to SPSS. As you can see, the serial number is there, name of the respondents are there, gender is there, age is there, this is the profession, 5 categories are there, and then these are the statements. So suppose you want to compute that overall what is the situation. Overall what is the situation. So there are, here we have 14 statements. So you want to get the overall situation, and you want to compare the overall score across male and female. Then you want to find out whether the age has something to do with overall scale, or there is something related to profession and overall score that the statement that is earning. Okay, let us look at this. So for that we go to analyze. Now we go to transform. There is an option compute variables. In compute variables, we make name a target variable, that is sum. That is, it will sum up all the scores, and this is equal to come from the statement. So first statement is the issue taken. This is still, this much is academic background. This one we bring it in this side. That is the question number 1. Actually, this is statement number 1. More precise would be S1, S2 like this instead of Q1, Q2, Q3. Because Q1, Q2, Q3 seems that they are statements, but they are actually not statements. They are, sorry, questions, but they are not actually questions, but they are actually statements. So we can write S1, S2, but okay, it's understood. So we are taking Q1, Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4 plus Q5 plus we can just type in also like this, so that makes the thing easier. And another trick, let me show you, like you have there are 30 statements, so you can copy this also. Control C, and we may paste it here, Control V, and then we can keep on changing this. This is 8, this is 9, this is 10, this is 11, and this is 12, and then we have last one Q13. So this is Q13. So we have done this, and then we click OK. As soon as we click OK, we will find that a new statement, this sum has been generated, and so we have these values as sum. So we have got this sum. This did not work because there is a missing observation here. So missing observation is not good. Say this is, let us make it neutral. And so once again, if we run this, then I think now there is no more other values which are missing. And this, okay. So we'll run this once again, transform, compute variable, then we sum, and then we click OK. Change existing variable, okay. So we get, this time we get all the values. That one that was missing is now computed. Okay, fine. Now suppose I want to compare, this is the overall score that we have got on the scale. So if we calculate the descriptive statistics of these column, then we understand where it lies. So let us look at this, analyze descriptive statistics, and then we go to descriptives, and then we pick up the variable, take the sum on this side, and then we go to options, we see mean, we see standard deviation, maximum and minimum. That's good. And then we click on continue, and then we click on OK. So here in the result we get this. Now you see there are how many statements? Let us have a look at the data set, then we understand. So there are 14 statements. So maximum mark possible is 14 into 5, that is 70. And minimum score is 1. So 14 into 1, that is 14. So scores between 14 to 70 is possible. Now if someone gets all the scores as 33333, then 14 into 3, that is equal to 52. Sorry, 14 into 2 is 14 into 2 is 42. So the score is 42. 14 into 3, 42. So 42. So let us look at the average. If the average is more than 42, then the people are liking the movie because it is getting score more than average. Let us have a look at what was the value. So you see it's just 52. Mean is 52. That means at least 10 units more than the average minimum value, that is 42. So this is very good enough value, 52.2. And then minimum value is 43 and maximum value is 60. So this is the thing, and standard deviation is 4.22. So this is how the values are lying between, and the maximum value is 60. So out of 70, 60, someone has given maximum score. 60 is not so much, but the average is quite good enough, and it has got very nice values. So that is 52.2, and the standard deviation is 4.22. So somewhat we understand. If we want to go more thorough analysis, like suppose we want to compare between the male and female. So male and female comparison of average can be done preferably with a t-test. So what we do is that we come down in analyze, and then we go to. But then you see one thing very interesting, that whenever you want to perform this type of tests, like non-parametric or non-parametric tests, because we are testing, this is our data on which we are going to perform the test. So we have to first see whether the data is normally distributed. For that we go to analyze, we go to non-parametric, we go to legacy dialogues, and then we get one sample Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. So we select this test, sum we pull in this side, and normal is the test distribution. We click on OK, and what is this? What is the corresponding p-value? You see p-value is 0.2. So 0.2 is this is more than 0.05. So we can go with the null hypothesis, and the null hypothesis of the test that the data is following normal distribution. So this is data follows normal distribution. So since it follows normal distribution, so we can perform t-test to compare between two groups, that is male and female. So what I do for that comparison, we go to analyze, we go to compare means, and we go to independent sample t-test. So we click on independent sample t-test, and then we select what is the test variable is sum. So we select the sum, and we bring it in this side. So we bring in sum here, and then we go to the grouping variable. So grouping variable, I select this gender. Okay, and gender we define the groups as I think gender were 0 and 1. Let me check it out once. And what were the codes for male? So male, this is female. Okay, let us have this. So male is 1, female is 2. Thank God. Male is 1, female is 2. Now once again I am back. So we go to analyze, we go to compare means, we go to independent sample t-test. Test variable is sum, and we bring the sum here, and here we have gender, bring the gender here, define groups, we take the groups as 1 and 2. So after that we go click on continue and click on go, and then we get the result of t-test, and the result of t-test will go with this one. We can assume equal variance because here the Levine's test is telling that the variances are equal, so we go with this test, and so this is the p-value. P-value is much greater than 0.05. Here the null hypothesis is that the average score between males and females are same. The average score of males and females are same. So for that the p-value needs to be less than 0.05 to reject the null hypothesis. Now here the p-value is more than 0.05, so we accept the null hypothesis and we conclude that the average is not significantly different. That is, the average score of males and females are not significantly different. So this way we can do the analysis, and several other types of analysis we can do. One thing we can show, for example, simplicity of the movie, that question number 1, 2 and statement 1, 2 and 3, sorry. Statement 1, 2 and 3, they give the simplicity of the movie. So what we can do is that we can click here and we can insert variable. We can give a name variable. So we go to variable view, and in the variable view, we can change the name of this variable, which is simplicity. Okay, not this way. Let me clear it. Let me go back to the data view. We question 1, question 2, question 3. They are simplicity. So for that we get a new variable here. So we go to transform, compute variable. So we give it a name simplicity. Simplicity, and this is already ready-made there. Let me delete the other ones. Q1, Q2, Q3, and then we click OK. So new variable is generated, and that new variable is created, and it is given me the score of simplicity. So this is the one. We go to variable view, make some changes, like we go to simplicity here at the end, and in case of nominal we make it scale variable. Then I can have the second one, that is, if you look at the questionnaire, second one questionnaire, after simplicity come accessories. So I take the name accessories. Let me copy from here. No need to take this off the fill-in part, accessories, and then we go to this Excel SPSS file back, and then we transform new variable, compute variable. We give it a name, say accessories. We have copied. It does not work. No, it's not working. Anyways, yeah, accessories has come. Accessories is there, and now it's Q4, Q5, Q6. We can change here Q4, Q5, and Q6. So we get another new variable, like if you go to the database, then we can see that we have got the new variable accessories here. Now suppose we want to see compare between simplicity and accessories, like just calculate the descriptive statistics, analyze descriptive statistics, descriptives. So take it back, and now go on simplicity, you take in this side, accessories you also take in this side, and then look at this. So you get the average. You see this mean, or this is simplicity is 12 and accessory is 12.2. So they are almost same. There is not much difference between simplicity and accessories. Now you can perform t-test for cross gender for simplicity and see whether opinion of male and female on an average are differing significantly. Similarly, you can do it for accessories as well. So this way we can do, and we can find it out. All this computation we can do, and this is how we analyze the data from a Likert scale. So in this presentation we have expressed little bit about the Likert scale. Then we have generated a product which is consumed by the consumers instantly, and then through a questionnaire, which is actually a scale type of questionnaire, but even the items of the scales are classified into some subgroups, and through this we have taken opinion of the people, and we have registered their opinion and automatically got it classified under different components. Overall we are taking information about the product, that is the film, but dividing it into several components like simplicity, accessories, emotions, originality, etc. and then we can take the data from either we can put a hard copy questionnaire before the respondents get it filled and get it collected and then entered into the data, but a much easier way without the wastage of stationery and without the wastage of typing in the data once again in the computer. We can use a Google Docs to develop a questionnaire and send it to the respondents over email so that they can actually operate it or fill the questionnaire from their smartphone itself. Once they submit the questionnaire, the data gets stored in a Excel type format, which is a CSV type format or Google Sheets. From there, we can take it to Excel and we can classify, color, do the data cleaning, etc. And then, if you want better analysis, we want to do some harder type of analysis, which Excel does not support. We can easily bring it into uh, SPSS, and accordingly we can do this computation. Some of these computations we have seen, and so that's all for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video.